One, and they're jockeying for position, but nobody actually connected. Amazing. It's quite wide in there, but at the end of the day, there's sort of 1.5 racing lines, and this is from the camera of Michael Schumacher following his brother then beautifully to what was then P4, and he would have been delighted with that. But now he's P6, 10 seconds behind Kimi Räikkönen.
Yes, he took the outside line, did Michael Schumacher. A nice safe route round the outside, avoiding any trouble. You could see Juan Montoya was being very, very careful on the run down to the first corner. Didn't want to get his front wing taken off. There he is then, following David Coulthard, who's having another terrifically strong run here this weekend. He was third last year here at Indianapolis. Terrific drive by him, and he looks very good again.
Something that didn't sound too healthy as it just went past the commentary box window. The Ferrari, the latest Ferrari, tends to sound a bit sick, it's almost as if it's missing a cylinder. It's got a curious exhaust note. It may have been that. We'll keep a listen out. Räikkönen, Ralf Schumacher, David Coulthard third, Montoya, Alonso has just gone fastest man so far. And now Michael Schumacher beginning to get back up to speed as the dry line reappears.
I tell you what though, Martin, it may be a bit damp out there, but the pace is absolutely mesmerising. Kimi Räikkönen's lapping in the mid 1:11 11s, and that's a good couple of seconds faster than the pace here last year in the opening section of the race. So he leads on lap 10 from Ralf Schumacher, David Coulthard third, fourth is Montoya, fifth Alonso, who's just set the fastest lap of the race so far, sixth Michael Schumacher, seventh Jarno Trulli, and eighth, last of the points positions, Nick Heidfeld. Lap 12 of the American Grand Prix at Indianapolis. It's been an all-action start to this Grand Prix, and no mistake. And now Ralf Schumacher in second place is eating into the lead of Kimi Räikkönen. There you can see the positions on lap 13. Jarno Trulli has made his way up to 7th place. Michael Schumacher still the meat in a Renault sandwich there. And Olivier Panis, who we saw on the grid 3rd place, has thrown that away. He's made 2 pit stops, having decided the rain was sufficiently bad he needed wet tyres. Villeneuve made the same mistake. They've now had to come in and switch back onto dry tyres. Villeneuve is now 16th and Panis 15th. Cristiano Di Matta in the second of the Toyotas did the same thing, and he's 14th.
So who will be the first to blink in terms of having to come in for fuel? Räikkönen leads by 1.8, and quite clearly Ralf Schumacher and indeed David Coulthard in 3rd place are beginning to haul him in. Montoya with the ever-present, there he is now, the ever-present Alonso just behind him. And Michael Schumacher now recovering. He's now back in the 1 minute low 1-minute 12s. So the track then is bone dry effectively. The racing line is absolutely dry, and we're back to square one, except it's all been mixed up nicely. And championship-wise, it's almost perfect, isn't it? Raikkonen first, Montoya fourth, Michael Schumacher sixth. Long way to go yet.
Yeah, 10 points for a win, 8 for second, 6 for third. New point system this year, going down to 8th place. And it's certainly added to the spice of the championship. There's Patrick Head, technical director of the Williams team, just explaining something to one of the mechanics down there. But judging by the body language, it just looks like a fairly routine conversation. As once again, Ralf Schumacher eats into this lead. Look at that now, it's just a few car lengths. It was 1.2 seconds at the beginning of this lap. That's Montoya there going through the shot. He is behind David Coulthard, third and fourth place battle there. That's getting close as well.
Michael Schumacher's just done a 1:11.4. That's 1.3 seconds under the fastest lap they put in last year. So Schumacher is, well, both Schumachers absolutely flying now. And I wonder if those slightly softer Michelins on the McLarens are now beginning to hurt them slightly as the track really starts to stabilise and give up some grip.
Let's talk about it from a psychological point of view. Obviously, Kimi Raikkonen has had his own serene progress at the front, not too much to worry about except just keeping his foot down. But Montoya's really been through the mill, hasn't he? He's had an incident with Barrichello, which has put Barrichello out of the race. He's under investigation by the stewards.
Look,
how's he coming down?
Stop,
oh, look at
James,
this.
look for Montoya. Look, Montoya and Coulthard, that is going to be very tight. And Montoya sends it across the curb, and Coulthard in the end had to yield. That is where the straight line speed of that Williams was always going to pay him off. And look, Coulthard's gone deep into four. Did that allow Alonso through two? And Williams getting ready for a stop. Yes, it did. Alonso picked off Coulthard at the same moment while he was wrong-footed, brake too deep into four, having been put out of position in turn two. Montoya up to P3 then.
Yep, from third to fifth goes David Coulthard. Montoya's obviously settled into this race. He's certainly got his temperature up, but he is under investigation by the stewards, and we will give you any information we get as soon as we get it, what the stewards think about what Montoya was involved in earlier on. But he is now very much where he wants to be, right behind his teammate Ralf Schumacher. We're probably about 5, 6, 7 laps away from the first round of pit stops for fuel and tyres, and with Montoya just a few seconds behind Ralf Schumacher. It'll be interesting to see whether there's any team orders. There we go. Ralf Schumacher comes in fairly early, you'd have to say.
Yes, Schumacher pits then. They're on lap 16. He's pitted at the end of 15. That is quite early, much earlier than I thought the Williams would be pitting. It's bad news for Montoya if he's just got a lap's worth more on board. It was an okay stop. Louise is with Rubens Barrichello.
Rubens, I know you're close friends with Juan Pablo, but presumably you'll be having a few choice words with him after this race.
I mean, it's we've always said that we've been running quite close, and one day we might have touched it, but it's it shouldn't be today because it was a close battle. Turn two close. The turn actually turns quite rapidly into the left. I didn't turn in onto him. I thought I had given him his space. I didn't even reach the apex of the corner. All of a sudden I felt a bang. So I need to look at the video, but it's very unfortunate that happened this way.
He's under investigation. Do you think he should be penalised?
To be honest with you, what I care is that I'm out of the race. That is very unfortunate. What I wish now is that I could put my car back to the race, that's all.
Thanks, Rubens.
Well, I think Montoya, I absolutely agree with Rubens Barrichello. He's seeing it whilst he was driving a car and probably didn't have that good a view in his mirrors. But look, Michael Schumacher pushing David Coulthard, that's the fourth place at the moment. Coulthard's struggling in this phase of the Grand Prix. But I think Rubens will not see anything on the video replay that surprises him over and above how he's just explained it. I have a feeling Montoya will get away with that. It was a little bit sort of touch and go, but clearly Barrichello had the line through the corner, had the right of way. But if he's overtaken under double waved yellows, he will get penalised. Michael Schumacher then nowhere near close enough to Coulthard at this time. And truly, watching, I spoke to the Renault team before the start of the Grand Prix, and they were allowed to check his car after qualifying to see if they managed to get a reasonable setup on it. They weren't allowed to change it, and they were pretty pleased with the setup that it had. So they're expecting truly to be at full speed through the Grand Prix, despite that very hastily repaired car for qualifying yesterday.
Well, you're